Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building. Hitting y'all with this quick Rucking live. I wanted to talk about fitness real quick. In particular, I want to talk about how I got fit and how I stay fit and how I continue to be even more fit at age 45. You know what I'm saying? So, just want to give you guys some of the things that I do in terms of cardio to get myself going, to have the energy I have, to have the fitness that I have. You know what I'm saying? Because cardiovascular exercise is life, y'all. Good for your health. You know, you have to do it. Do me a favor. Hit the like button when you come up in here. So, there are a number of forms of cardio that I do on a daily basis. Some of it not daily. Some of it I do once or twice a week. And, you know, the results show in my lit house. Salute to you. Walaikum assalam, brother. The results of what I do to stay fit and to get fit show, you know, in many different ways, right? In the terms of my energy levels, my resting heart rate, my blood pressure, you know, it shows in those things. And those are great indicators to let you know, hey man, I must be doing something right. It's not just about, you know, not being obese or being slim. That, you know, and there are many ways to do this. You don't have to do it my way. I had to find the way that works best for me, and that's what I do. I do it. It's a routine. So that's another key thing. That's another key and component of fitness is routine and progressive overload. So there you have it. All right, let me get in some squats. Right now I'm rucking, y'all. I'm rucking through a neighborhood, but you know, got to get in there where you can. And while I'm rucking, I'm doing squats and lunges, you know, for added resistance. So rucking is one of the things I do for cardiovascular exercise. And it's something that I fell in love with a long time ago after, ironically, I got out the Army. When I was in the Army, we was rucking fools. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't call it rucking. We just call it marches. Forced marches. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's it. We just marched to where we wanted to go. And we just so happened to carry a rucksack with things inside that weigh, you know, on average, 35 pounds. So we would have 35-pound rucksack around, and our weapon might have been an M4 or an M16 when I got in. When I got in, we had M16s, and they brought the M4s in later. So we had that. That was like 8 or 9 pounds. You know, we had the LCEs, right? Which is known as the load carrying equipment. Now they got the Molly vest. You know, we didn't have Molly vest. We had them damn old ass LCEs. You know, it's just like a little harness. You know what I'm saying? And it had, you know, pockets for your a-hole. That is a fitting name for you with your comment. I'm Rucking. Anyway, so we had load carrying equipment, right? And you put your magazines in there and other shit. Anyway, Queen Mother Shaquila, good morning to you. Incognito, salute, good morning. So what pack and weight? Well, it's a Go Ruck pack from Go Ruck, and it's about, and the pack itself is 65 pounds. This live is about what I do for cardio to stay fit and, you know, maintain low blood pressure and resting heart rate. I'm talking about things I do for cardio to stay fit. Ruck for survival, you know, because if you have to great distances and you don't have a vehicle, well, you best be ready to carry everything you need. IB was fun. LBE was fun. Hasn't changed since 1040s, other than canvas and to nylon in the late 90s. Well, now they have the Molly vests. They have the Molly vest now with all the Molly straps. Oh shit, it's starting to rain. Crazy. It wasn't supposed to rain today. Anyway, load bearing equipment, load carrying equipment, yes. So, I started, listen, when I was in the Army, rucking wasn't fun. You know, we didn't look at it as fun. We just looked at it as part of our duties. You know what I'm saying? We just looked at it as part of our duties that we had to do. I was infantry, and so our job was field, you know, during field training exercises, and we were back, you know, on base. We just train in weapons, train. Just that's all we did. We were considered hiking at ATCDT or PCT. I don't know what that is. Can you shed light on that? SD vibes. Are you from San Diego or something? I no longer live in California. So rucking was just the duty. It was part of our job as infantrymen. You know what I'm saying? And plus I was an 11 Mike. So really all we did was help maintain those Bradleys, right? You know, we go to the range, we clean the Bradleys, we take the Bradleys out, whatever we did. And then we practice dismount, you know what I'm saying? All that shit. But yeah, we weren't, that was part of the thing. But I rediscovered rucking so many years later, right? And I was like, you know what? Because it was, like I said, it wasn't called rucking back then. It was just called training. It was called marching, right? You just marched, you know, with your squad, your platoon, your team, and you just did the mission. But now, as a civilian, you know, we call it rucking. And, you know, I was never really a fan of long distance cardio. You know what I'm saying? like jogging. I was never a fan of jogging or long distance running. I suck at it. There are three major trail systems in the U.S. to Canada, New Mexico to Canada, and Georgia to Maine. I know about the one in Georgia, goes through it's the Appalachian Trail. I know about the Appalachian Trail, and I actually considered maybe doing the Appalachian Trail. It goes from Georgia all the way to Maine. It's the Appalachian Trail. Yes, I know about that one. But I'm no longer in San Diego. I'm in the southeast now. So the more viable trail for me to try would be Georgia to Maine. I appreciate the SD vibes. Salute to you for brother or sister. Handy Roo. You think I'm stupid, Handy Roo? Come on, bro. Come on, try again. You see, I know you're a Minor Mouse supporter, Handy Roo. Why do you need to know my location? See, all those years ago, when I was in California, I gave y'all my location when I was rucking. I gave y'all an opportunity to come holler at me because y'all had a problem with what I was saying, which was the truth about Minor Mouse. Too late. Black Gold. I'm in South Carolina, but I know the dude with the little flag. Oh, you're in the UK. I'm in South Carolina. You got to pardon me. I have stalkers that that support a child diddler. They got mad at me for exposing their hero. What is anarchy? Brahi Brutus asked what anarchy. That's a great question. Peace to the original man, the black man, peace God. Salute to you, Cheech. Salute to you. Henry says, dude is white. I don't know who you talking about, but you're damn sure ain't me. What time is it in my country? 10:21. You ain't talking about me when you say dude is white. You must got me confused. So, Brahi Brutus says, what is anarchy? Anarchy, etymologically speaking, it means no rulers. NYC Ducati boy says, you are white. He must be talking about one of y'all in the chat. Damn sure ain't talking about me. That's for damn sure. Salute from Colorado. Salute to you. Yes. Well, technically, we call it rucking. Now, the total weight that I have is about 80 pounds altogether. Time to get some. So one of the things I do, obviously, for cardio is rucking. You can start off, if you're interested, you can start off with about 10 pounds in a pack, and build yourself up. Progressive overload. Get used to rucking, do it often enough. A-hole, if you know how to listen and comprehend, I said in the pack, the amount of weight in the pack is 65 pounds. A-hole. With everything else that I have, including my drink, all the rest of my equipment, my boots, totals out to about 80 pounds. So I didn't say 20 pounds. I said I have 65 pounds in the pack alone. But I understand, a-hole, you want to be a troll and whatever the case may be, and a hater. You can go ahead and do that. Sam Cole says, get after it. For sure, for sure. Aim RB says, ask if I'm hiking. Well, you could call it that. I'm hiking with weight. It's known as rucking. So I'm not heading anywhere. Just rucking in a neighborhood. A-hole tells me to settle down. First of all, there's nothing to settle down from. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing my thing. Don't get mad because I'm calling your silly ass out. I'll say what I want. What does rucking do? Well, it helps you with cardio, right? Like if you have an issue with running or jogging and you have, joint conditions like bad knees, or you might have a bad back, rucking is a good alternative to long distance jogging, or running. And it gives you the benefits of that without the aches and pains. And it adds resistance. You know what I'm saying? It adds resistance because now you have a weighted pack. Good job. Good Lord, y'all. Yeah, so if you have an issue with running and jogging, rucking is a good alternative because you get the cardio without the aches and pains. Cassandra says, God bless me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Queen. There are clearly some projectors in here. I know y'all feel the need to come in here and troll about sexuality, but you need to look at the mirror and, kind of accept your own, if your boat float that way, you need to look inside yourself and address that with yourself. And it got nothing to do with me. See, you want me to be that way, Hey man, what was your first experience? You need to address that with your counselor. I'm not the person to help you with that. Yeah. If you have those homoerotic fantasies, I'm not the one to help you address that. So just to let y'all know. But I know, hold on. Good morning, China Doll. JL Contracting. I have an issue with running. Oh, yeah. Gregory says, which president do you think? Man, y'all are wild. A-hole says, no aches and pains. Your L3 and L4 with group. Did those get aggravated or caused by rucking? So you had to do it the right way. See, this is something they don't teach you in the Army or in the military. It's how to properly ruck. They just tell you to throw a pack on and get to stepping. There's a way to do it. Relieve and prevent aching pains. Actually, if you do it properly, it helps you with your posture. If you engage your core properly, it'll strengthen your core and help you protect your spine. Just got to do it. Man, Bree Keem says, what's up with the backpack? Well, it's a weighted pack, and it's called Rucking. JL Contracting says, you handle trolls much more eloquently. Well, what's the point of getting angry and irate with the trolls, man? Because with every 100 trolls, you get a real one that wants to support. You know what I'm saying? You got to filter through it. Melee All Day says, Melee, what's up, brother? Salute to Melee All Day. Glad you're here, brother. Make sure you drop your link. Are you still doing content, bro? I don't see no notifications coming from you. What I've learned to do is give attention to the positive comments and ignore the trolls, because it ain't worth the good people's time listening to you scold. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't block, because sometimes when you address them, you can bring awareness to what people are thinking, right? You know, it just brings awareness to other folks on what, you know, because you can't avoid trolls. So sometimes, well, you can block them. You can block anybody that comes through and trolls. But then, you know, sometimes you get trolls on your side, man. Sometimes you get trolls on your side by actually addressing, because sometimes people who troll, they do it on purpose, but sometimes it's people's real thoughts. They're thinking out loud because, you know, they don't have to expose themselves, right? But it's all good. So with rucking, this is what I learned to do. Number one, get a good brace, a back brace, okay? Not just any old back brace. A back brace that you can put on, and then the one I have has pull tabs, right? And you pull it, and it squeezes it tighter, and it expands your spine, right? It helps separate your spine, so that when you put the pack on, you're not compressing your spine too much. So I have a really good back brace that when you pull the tabs, it helps keep spinal separation. Because I have multiple herniated discs, you know what I'm saying? I have multiple disc narrowing and all that type of shit. I have damn near bone on bone in my spines in some spot. But having the brace on helps prevent so much compression, right? Thank you, Melee all day. I appreciate that. You know, because, you know, some people, and then on top of that, you know, Melee all day, I believe in freedom of speech. Not because I don't want my speech censored, but because I want people who have these crazy thoughts, I want them to be able to, I want people to be able to see that, so that you know they're out there. When you censor people, they just go to ground and they do things behind the scenes. No, you want to see what they're thinking. You want to see what they want to do. You know, I always want to do that. Vic Morrison asks how much I'm carrying. Altogether, about 80 pounds, including the weight in the pack itself, my vest, my drink, my boots, you know. So anyway, Humble Up to today says, starting my walking journey, I really wanted to continue to see results. Please pray for you. You just got to keep doing it. And like I said, progressive overload, right? I didn't start with 80 pounds. I started with like 30 pounds when I got, you know. I wouldn't even say start with 30. I say start with 10 or 20. If you've never rugged before and you don't have the proper equipment, like I said, you want to get that back brace. You want to get with a chest keep the weight close to your body, so it's not flopping around, you know. And then you want to have your posture good. You want to engage your core, right? Like right now, my core is engaged the whole time. You know, I'm protecting my spine, and I'm protecting my hips and my knee by engaging my core, shoulders back. But you kind of want to bring your shoulders forward a little bit, you know, but at the same time, your shoulders are down, you know. So you're engaging all your stabilizer muscles, you know what I'm saying? So that when you're not wearing the pack, you notice that you have better posture, right? Because you're preventing, you know, you're, because with the rucksack on, you want to lean forward, right? You think you want to do this. Because I remember when I was in the Army, this is what I did. I was walking like this, right? With the rifle in my hand, and everybody was doing that. No, you want to be upright, right? You want to prevent yourself from leaning forward. So you're engaging and you're strengthening your stabilizer muscles, like I said. So when you're not wearing the pack, you notice that you're walking more upright without the pack. Your posture's better. Even when you're sitting down, you don't want to sit down, hunch forward. You want to sit down. You want to be upright. When you're walking straighter. Your posture's better. So this is what you do. But you have to actively work at that when you're rucking. Because the natural thing is, like I said, you want to be like this. You're like this. If anybody is in the military, you've seen it. Even when you're shuffling, you know, they have you shuffling with the ruck like that. Kind of like a light jog. Yes, I'll do squats as well, right? So I'll stop every now and then. I'll do some squats. I'll do some lunges. You know, throughout the routine, throughout the workout. Don't really need to do it though. You're also engaging your glutes, all that stuff. You're engaging everything when you're rucking, if you want to do it right. If you want to do it right, you want the straps to be real tight. You want the weight really close to the body. You don't want anything loose. And make sure, hold on. Make sure y'all are hydrated. If you ain't properly hydrated and you ain't got that magnesium in you, man, your legs are gonna get sore while you're rucking. Like I said, progressive overload. Rucking. It's rucking. Humble to be humble up today. Rucking. Rucking. Why are there rings on the screen? I don't know what you mean by rings. I don't know. Yes, magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral that is one of the most important minerals or elements that your body needs. It prevents muscle soreness. It helps, it's good for your heart, right? It's good for your heart, for sure. It helps with sleep. So if you get magnesium glycinate, that's really good to consume before you go to bed. Or you can take magnesium citrate during the day. You know, it'll give you a little bit of energy. But magnesium is one of the most important electrolytes that you can take. One of the most important, right? You don't need just salt and potassium, you know, right? Magnesium is very important. So yes, magnesium is great for you. So, magnesium You can get it in many forms. You can get it in pill form. I take these droppers. I take these droppers. I get for magnesium glycinate. But yes, it's better absorbed into the body with some fat, right? Love from India, salute to you. And Kita Sharma, salute to you. So, man, I've been talking about rucking for a little bit. But rucking, that's just one form of cardio that I do. I do other forms. I like to, like I said, I don't like long distance running. So in place of that, I ruck. You know what I'm saying? I ruck, you know, and you can really focus on mind muscle connect. Getting my lunge in. My back. Of course, they have to interrupt my live stream. Give me a Romeo Lima Charlie, y'all. If y'all can read me loud and clear. Give me a Romeo Lima Charlie, if y'all can hear me. Read you loud and clear. I appreciate that, Mind Man Musa. So, like I was saying, y'all, and salute to Sugar Free Mars, who popped in. So, rucking, right, with this pack, it's just one form of cardio that I do. Gaming Abdullah, salute to you. Thank you, brother. Yes, and please hit the like button. JRM, Junior M. Yeah, you can call it hiking. We call it rucking when you hike with a weighted pack. So, rucking is just one form of cardio. I know Sugar Free Mars. They be getting your boy. I don't know how. I be suddenly having no service in places that, you know, whatever. It is what it is. So anyway, rucking is just one form of cardio. I do it for endurance training and resistance training, right? Endurance and muscular endurance and resistance, you know? And it's good for the heart. It's good to help build your posture if you're rucking right. Don't ruck like this. Force marching. No, you want to be as upright as possible, but you're going to have to engage your core. Get a good back brace and some good boots, right? I use Go Ruck. I get my boots from Go Ruck. They're comfortable as hell. They're lightweight. And man, I've had these for how long I had these for? Man, these are my first pair of Go Ruck boots. I got about 6 pair of Go Rucks. And how often do I suggest calisthenics? Every day. Calisthenics is something you can do every day. Upper body or lower body. As long as, you know, it's body weight, you can do that every day. As long as you're not overtraining in it and getting sore. Oh, peace and blessings to you, Trey Titan. But yes, So get a good pair of boots, good pair of rucking boots. Like I said, I should just go Ruck. It's a veteran-owned company, and they have combat boots that are great, very comfortable, very good quality, and a lifetime guarantee. For whatever reason, you can get them your soles replaced or whatever the case, because they work. Yes, Trey Titan, pull-ups and push-ups. You can do that daily. Air squats, you know, jump squats. So that's just one form of cardio I do. Another form is with my Muay Thai and boxing training that I do. Heavy bag, right? So I train in boxing and Muay Thai. And there are many ways to get cardio in with that. Shadow boxing, heavy bag, right? You know, sparring. And it's been a while since I sparred, but sparring, that is, in regards to boxing and Muay Thai, sparring, that's probably going to be the best form of cardio. You know, it's going to be better cardio than heavy bag and so you're not just hitting. People are trying to hit you. So you have to stay on. You got to stay on your toes. You got to stay moving. You got to constantly use your jab or your teep if you're Muay Thai. You know, so when you're not throwing or when you're not punching, you got to worry about, or even when you punch, you got to worry about counters. You know, blocks, pressure, constant pressure, depending on who you're sparring against. It's a great form of cardio. But yes, so like today, before I did my ruck, I did 25 rounds of Muay Thai training on the heavy bag. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. Trey Titan says, finding a proper stance to composite both boxing and Muay Thai styles have been tricky for me. So the best for me, what I've discovered, Sweetie says, okay, hard to slip kicks and knees. Well, you don't slip kicks and knees. Trey Titan, that's the thing with Muay Thai. You can parry a teep, and with a knee, you can just back up, right? You can slide back, right? You know what I'm saying? Or you can stuff the knee by bringing your body close to your opponent or getting inside the knee, if that makes sense. Eric Jordan, salute to you, brother. Welcome. Let me go ahead and rinse you up, man. Could have sworn. I know you, I see you all over the place, and I know you're a solid dude. But no, with teeps, you can catch the teep or you parry the teep, right? So if you can catch the teep and then counter with a sweep, boom, your opponent's on the ground. Or you can catch the teep and you can counter with a kick to the head. There are so many things you can do when you catch a teep. Or when you parry the teep, you know, you can counter that as well. You can counter with a sweep as well. So you're not really slipping a teep though, right? You can sidestep a teep, you know, get out the way. So you're gonna be sidestepping for the most part. With Muay Thai, your defense is going to be more so with your feet. So with kicks, you can block the kicks with your own shin, or with a K block. They call it a K block, or a Dutch block. So the defense is a little different, but there are things with boxing that you can use in Muay Thai that traditional Muay Thai fighters or people who've never trained in boxing before and only train Muay Thai, you can catch them slipping, right? There are certain things you can do with your boxing. Like you can slip the punches, right? You can slip the Muay Thai punches and all that. Because in Muay Thai, the punching, right, is similar to boxing, right? But in Muay Thai, you're not really slipping a lot and you're not rolling a lot, because if you roll and slip, you can roll right into a knee, right? If you're rolling, right? If you're rolling this way and that way, you can roll right into a knee. They'll see you doing that, you're gonna catch a knee. And if you slip this way or that way, you can get a kick. They'll kick you, you know what I'm saying? You can catch a smooth kick. So you gotta be real careful about slipping in Muay Thai. So if you're gonna slip, it's gonna be extremely exaggerated, more exaggerated than with, oh yeah, if you roll low, they'll kick you, they'll knee you. Gotta be careful. Man, y'all homoeroticism is wild. Y'all homoeroticism, like where are the ladies at? I mean, I know we got sugar-free Mars in here, but where the ladies at? Where the ladies at? I need the ladies to come in here and sexually harass me. God damn, can I get, you know? Anyway, so, yes, if you roll, the Rainbow Coalition is wild. But sugar-free Mars, you know, sometimes you, see, I could block or put on. In my back. Salute, y'all. Y'all see me? Am I still frozen? Am I frozen or chosen? Am I frozen or chosen? Salute, salute, salute. All right, I'm back, okay. So look, hold on. In Muay Thai, hold on, y'all. Let me turn this fan off. Laugh box, salute. Big fan from Rwanda. Salute to you. So, when you slip in Muay Thai, there is a particular way to do it. There's a particular way you have to do it, right? In rolling, you're not really going to roll in Muay Thai or kickboxing or anything where they use kicks, right? Unless you're rolling back, right? So if you're rolling back and you're putting yourself out of range of a kick that could come or a kick counter, salute to Eric Jordan, brother. Jimmy is mad that Miguel has engaged. Bruh, man, man, the homoeroticism, when you just let people come, pause, when you just let people slide through, when you just let people enter, I need something. Y'all help me out. When you allow an audience to check you out, uninhibited and unprohibited, this is what happens. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm glad Sugar-Free Mars is in here to keep my attention on and remind me of why I love the ladies so much and why women are so amazing. Let me ask y'all a question, a little bit off topic. Why are men that are that way? Like, for real. What makes, like, when I think about a woman and what she brings to the table, is just the softness, the nurturing, just, you know, they are everything opposite of what I am. Blue Blood Sports TV is in the building. Salute to you, brother. Thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate you. When I think about, I don't have the pack on anymore, y'all. I'm just walking. When I think about the reasons I am attracted to and love women it's like, how could you want anything else? You know what I'm saying? Like the way they laugh. Like, for instance, if y'all have never heard Sugar Free Mars giggle, that is the most amazing thing. That is one of the most amazing things you can hear as a man, right? If you can make a woman giggle like Sugar Free Mars giggles, it's amazing. Open Eye says, "Hope you're having a good morning." I am, brother. I am. I have a lot of energy right now. I'm not sending anybody $10 that I don't know. I don't know Sea Dog. So, but when I think about that, it's like, how could you want, as a man, anything other than that? What about jiggle? Well, Sugar Free Mars, you know what's up. You know when you get the giggling, man, it lifts my heart for real. I thoroughly enjoy a good Sugar Free Mars giggle. What about jiggle? I don't know what you mean. I feel like that's a trap question. I feel like you trying to trap me with. I don't even want to answer that. So that's just in terms of women like on a mental level, right? On an emotional level, you know, that is nothing. There's nothing a man can do. I don't care how high pitched he make his voice. I don't care how many hormones he takes. I don't care what he does with his manhood and all the what they call that, the devirilization that they go through. There's nothing a man can do to himself to try to make himself as effeminate as possible that can duplicate what a real woman brings to the table. Period. Mind and Mansa Musa says facts. Sugar Free Mars is just amazing and so divine. Pure goddess feminine. Yes. As fiery as she can be, already know that the right man can he won't have to be on the receiving end of that fury at all. You know what I'm saying? So I know what it is to enjoy women. And so having enjoyed women most of my life, I don't understand how y'all dudes could want you, right? Like as a man. What is this about? What about this makes you want another man? Like when I look at other men that women find attractive, I'm like, disgusting, right? That's like one myself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be able to do it. So I just don't understand it. And that's just on, like I said, that's not even on the physical level. On the physical level, ooh wee, those hips, those supple legs, the beautiful soft curves of a woman's face. Just if she got a booty or not, like a nice little a bubble butt. You know what I'm saying? Just the when I think, okay, so for me, the epitome of a perfect woman's form is like a dancer. You know what I'm saying? Like a very fit ballet dancer or a very fit dancer. It's just a professional dancer, not a stripper, a professional dancer. An artistic dancer. If you look at a woman's body that's a dancer, like a black woman that dances, or man, there's nothing like that form. The female form, pure feminine female form, with all its soft curves and just the hips, the hip action, the feet, nice, beautiful, supple feet. Sugar Free Mars, yes, dancers are beautiful. Absolutely. When I look at that, I'm like, man, how could y'all want anything other than that? Like Serena Williams is pushing it for me. Like a woman with a body like Serena Williams. But Serena Williams is still feminine. Like back in the, not, I don't know, but like back when she started and first got big, yeah, she's pretty muscular, but that was just natural. And it was still a softness to it. There was still a level of softness that you couldn't deny. A little bit borderline for me, but nonetheless, yes, human nature. Sierra, Janet Jackson, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You know, and they have nice booties, but it's not outrageous donkey. Now, I love big booties too now, but I'm just saying. Mind Mansa Musa said they are a breast beast wanting another man, because I mean women got buttholes too. So what's the issue? I don't care if a woman got a butthole. I can't even do it. And that's another thing I wanted to get into. When it comes to the reproductive parts, there's nothing more amazing in this world than the flower. I'm just gonna say that, or the peach. I'll say peach. That because when I think of the other orifice, that's just a little ways down from there, I think of a dry desert, right? A dry desert pit, like. Whereas a peach, the peach is warm, it's wet, it's self-lubricating. It's just self-lubricating. If you know what you're doing, as a man, if you know what you're doing, that thing gets super lubricated. And when you're working on it, with your mouth or with your thing, with your manhood, that thing get even wetter. Why would you even want anything other than that? Why would you want to have to pull out and put on some lubrication, woman or not? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's the life. It's the canal of life. Why would you want? What is it, like a booty hole? No, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna bet a dud. I'm gonna tell you a little story. Back when I was still in the military and I got married to a wench that was no good, just because I wanted some extra benefits. We went to this hotel and we got super drunk, and she wanted me to put it in her booty hole. Okay. Now, I had never done this before and I did not want to do it. I said, you got me fucked up. I said, you got a perfectly good vagina. I don't need to go there. But she wanted to try it. I was like, all right, man. Let's just say we did the certain things to try to make it relax and put lube on it and all this other shit. And I barely got the tip past the nasty, whatever it was. It was just, first of all, I could not get as rock solid as I wanted or normally would be. And so I didn't even get, I got like a centimeter in. Not even that. She screamed, right? Slapped me and ran to the bathroom and took a dump. True story. She screamed, slapped me, ran to the bathroom and took a dump. And that was it. I was like, yeah, that's not what this is for. The only time she screams, and the only time she screams is when she reaching that climax. Yeah. Yes, human nature. I promise you. And I'm like, so you had the boo-boo? Oh, hell no. Could you imagine? It's nasty. The bacteria, the nonsense in there. Now, does the flower, does the peach have bacteria as well? Yes. But it's a different form of bacteria that helps keep the pH balance. It's bacteria that is supposed to be there when you get it cracking. You know what I'm saying? So I just, again, That was me in a very drunken state trying to try something my wife wanted to try, and it didn't work out. That was my only introduction to it, and I was like, no. I was like, that was my sign from God that this is not supposed to happen. Many women had a crush on Jen Jackson was ooh-wee. Sugar Free Mars says that's wild, and people want to put themselves through. Yeah, no. Don't ever do it. Observing stuff. Salute to you. Salute observing stuff. So, and it's like I said, I couldn't even get, you know, super rock solid like I normally would. It just was something, Don said, look at this clown. You must be looking into the mirror. Because why are you looking at a clown? You think I'm a clown? Why are you in here looking at me? Y'all people don't make no sense. You know I got to talk about boxing. What's up? Observing stuff. What happened? So, yeah. Taekwondo. Muay Thai, boxing training. Another great form of cardio that y'all can do. But like I said, y'all, as a man, if you like men, I want y'all to reevaluate that. If it's because y'all think the booty hole is tighter, well, I don't understand. I never understood that. Why someone wants that thing, or like the peach. Why do you want it super tight? Like what's up with that? Like what is the need to have? It's not supposed to be super tight like that. You know what I mean? If she's aroused, it's going to. If she's aroused, it's gonna get tighter anyway, because the nerve endings open up and it swells. It swells up, but it's not necessarily tighter. It's softer. It swells up. And if you know what you're doing, if you know how to get a woman there, it doesn't matter how big it is. Well, it doesn't matter how big it is. Let me stop lying. It doesn't matter how loose you think it may be. If you think it's loose, it's because you're not turning her on, bruh. You're just not. But if she wants you, it's going to swell up. And when it swells up, you're gonna be in that thing nice and right. And it's gonna be super wet. Human nature says sex isn't supposed to be painful. It's supposed to be pleasurable and enjoyable. Facts. I gotta go to the booty because it's tighter. Like, well then, and I've heard arguments that, and this is crazy to me, that the booty hole lubricates as well. Like, what are you talking about? Don't nothing lubricate like a vagina. Observer Steph says, is Crawford too small for Canelo? Well, if he is, it's only because he's never fought at 168. Sugar Free Mars says, Cap. What did you say in Cap about Sugar Free Mars? Well, Canelo is big because he's used to fighting around his walk-around weight, closer to his walk-around weight. Terrence Crawford has never fought close to his walk-around weight. So if he's too big, if Crawford is too small for Canelo, it's because, it's because he's never fought at that weight before. He's not used to fighting at that weight. He's not accustomed to it. He wasn't used to fighting at 154, and you saw how he did against Madrimov. So it's going to be because of that, not because necessarily physically smaller. Jebediah says this one girl was like, you're super wet, but that shit was loose. Bro, play about. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I never had a loose vagina. I never been up in some guts that was loose. I'm sorry to tell you. Sorry to tell you. Well, Crawford is about an inch taller than Canelo. He's taller than Canelo. See, and also it depends on what they come in at after weigh-ins. What do they rehydrate to? So we won't find out who's bigger until they get in the ring on the night. That's one thing we got to Sugar Free Mars says, I said cap to the idea that the a-hole. Yeah, for sure. Like I don't know what that comes from. Nothing can duplicate the female power. People are trying to justify it. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I won't accept this notion that the booty hole is loop. No, nope. Anyway. Oh, okay. Observing stuff compared to other people you've been with. Well, I've had different feels of the peach, but I wouldn't say looser, right? It just depends, right? It depends on how aroused the woman is. That's really what determines. Because I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Do y'all know a whole baby comes out of the vagina? A whole baby. I just want you guys to understand the magnificence of the muscle known as the vagina. It's a muscle. It's not a sphincter. There's a difference. A sphincter is a muscle, but it's not a muscle like a vagina. So when you stretch out a sphincter, it can't bounce back, right? It doesn't have the same components or anatomy of a vagina that helps it bounce back. That when it gets aroused, it makes it very accepting of the man that's going to enjoy it. If a woman isn't as aroused as you are, it's going to be the most amazing experience in your life. If she's not aroused, it's just not going to, you're not going to like it. And if it's loose, it's because, well, maybe she had a lot of liquor, you know. But like I said, human nature says, was she loose or he too small? Well, again, yeah, sugar for my eyes, exactly. So a whole being comes out. Now, I don't want to get too much into human anatomy like that or whatever, because I know we're talking about cardio. But the bottom line is that the female vagina is an amazing thing. You understand? It's a muscle. She can exercise it, right? So a woman can do things to make it, you know, as you guys say, tighter, to make it like, you know, through exercise. So athletic women, let me tell y'all, athletic women, like athletes, they have some of the tightest vaginas because of the training they do, right? Because of the training they do. If they're sprinters, if they are in sports competitions, swimmers, dancers, whatever you want, they're going to just active women. They tend to have that going on just because of their athleticism. But again, now, yeah. Robert Thompson says, I need a female athlete pronto. You funny. Is female? Yes, females can grip. Yes, they can. They can grip that thing. And guess what? That makes it makes you go wild. I'm going to tell you that right now. If she gets to gripping it and she knows how to do it with a rhythm, she knows how to do it with rhythm with the stroke. Good night, nurse. You understand? Good night, nurse. Observer stuff says, nah, it's females that's too loose. I've had some females who could clinch. Like I said, speaking from personal experience, I never had a loose one. I don't even know what that, like, what do you mean by that? Like, explain to me what that is, because if she's not doing like Kegels or whatever and doing things, if she's not active, if she's not healthy, it might be. It might be. But active women don't tend to have, or if they get ran through a lot, that might be another thing too. But it might be mental, right? Because women that get ran through a lot, like if you look at corn stars, you know, if you look at corn stars, you would think, oh, they've been ran through by all these big dudes, right? These big, huge dudes. And really, they don't really enjoy those. They don't really enjoy that. Some do because they have mentally been broken down, or there's something in their mentality, something in their past that has traumatized them, and they feel like they should be punished. They might enjoy that. But if you listen to corn stars talk about it, they don't like that. They don't like it. So it might be that if you're encountering that, now women that don't encounter a lot of it, yes, it is sugar-free Mars. Women that don't encounter a lot of big ones, and they finally find a huge one, it becomes a mental thing. They think that they need that big thing. Oh yeah, he got to be 11 inches, 11 inches long and 10 inches around. And they encounter that, and they get destroyed. Guess what? They may receive some pleasure from it. They may receive some pleasure from that and think, oh, he all up in my guts. He's spreading my wall. He's breaking my walls down. Oh, this is what I need every time. So yes, that mind muscle connection that I told y'all about earlier is very important. And if a woman doesn't understand that it is a muscle and she doesn't exercise it and she thinks, oh, I needed to be this size every time. Guess what? When you are not 11 inches and you're not huge around, then mentally it might cause her to believe that it's not doing nothing. So yeah, it might appear to be that way. So I think it's more mental, because like I said, a baby comes out, bro. Not every day, not as often as she would have sex, but the vagina is equipped for a whole ass baby. 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters. 10. Except for the baby's head. You ain't getting nothing that big coming out or going in. And even after that, yeah, she has to heal if there's tearing. You know, you're not supposed to do that for 6 weeks, but still, nonetheless, it bounces back from that. Clammy hands, salute, man. Yeah, I was talking about cardio earlier, then it got into the women. Because, it's a long story. Observer stuff said a lot of these hoes don't even know what the size is. It's how you make them feel. Yeah, it's a mentality. It's mental. It's 80% mental for women. Like I said, if you get them aroused enough, you can make wonderful things happen. Sugar-free Mars says mentality is everything. If you are fractured mentality and spiritually, you won't be able to fully enjoy it. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. There are women out there like, okay, so I was dating this woman. I was in my 20s. And the first time we got down, it was amazing. It was amazing. I'll just say that. It was perfect fit. It was nice and juicy. And as we went along, but then, and I was doing a lot. I was doing too much. I went around doing all kind of women. But then she wanted another session, but she was crying a lot, right? Something was wrong with her mentally. And she wanted me to come over. And then it was like, she was real kind of like, what's going on? She just appeared to be different. Like something was wrong, and she wanted to do it, but I was kind of like, I don't know, man. You seem like there's some trauma going on. I can sense the trauma. But she was like, she really wanted me to get it in. And so I did, but it was very tight. Very tight. Like, it was very tight. When I was stroking, and she was like, it seemed painful to her. and it was very tight. I mean, yes, it was juicy, but it was a lot tighter than normal, and it was like almost like she was trying to stop me from stroking. And I would stop, and she was like, "Tell me no, keep going." I'm like, I don't know about that because it's something's wrong. And she was like, started to cry and all this. I'm like, what? You didn't cry the first time. I'm like, the first time it was hot and heavy. You was sweating, I was sweating. You was moaning and groaning. I'm like, what is going on? But she was crying, and I said, no, I had to stop. I was like, no, this ain't working. Yes, sugar-free Mars. She was restricting. Exactly. Sugar. That's exactly what was going on. So I didn't feel comfortable anymore doing stroking her. And so I stopped. I was like, man, I said, something's wrong, man. She didn't want to talk about it. She was crying and she said, thank you. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then she told me later, and I should have sensed it. But being in my 20s and just trying to get it in, I didn't really concern myself at the time. I was like, yeah, I kind of want, and I kind of don't. But at some point, like during the stroke, and she told me later that she had been raped a few days before by some dude. Some dude had raped her a few days before, and so I don't know what she had me come over there for. She was going through her own mental trauma, and she wanted me to come over, and she knew that. I guess she knew that I was one not to try to force myself on her. And yeah, she had been raped. She had been raped, and um, she had been raped. And when we were having our experience, she was restricting, as Sugar Free Mars said, and I had to stop because I could sense that something was wrong. Yeah, I could sense that something was wrong. And let's say I was in my wisdom and I was at this age and I knew what I knew. As soon as I tried to go in, because like I said, the first time it was just nice and inviting, and you can tell the difference. And that was the first time I had that experience with a woman. So it was inviting and it was all the things. But then that second time, it was not like that. Sugar Free Mars says that's horrific. Yes. And I wasn't, I was in the mode where I was just going through as many women as possible. I didn't really have any attachment. And so, but in this instance, because I have a problem with that type of thing, I wanted to know who the dude was because I was gonna tune him up nice and right. She wouldn't tell me. She wouldn't tell me. Right? She would not tell me who had done this to her. And yeah, she wanted to deal with it her own way. J.R. Kendall says, "Black guy with a Carhartt. What's wrong with Carhartt? Is there something about Carhartt that's racist that you need to tell me about? Please let me know if Carhartt on some bullshit. Let me know." Human Nature says that's very sad. She was using sex to cope with sex. Yes, and that's what women do. I work for a living. J.R. Crandall. I am in construction, so yes, I wear a Carhartt a lot. Appreciate that. The $50. I appreciate that. Sugar Free Mars says these men have things so misconstrued. Tightness does not mean a woman is a perfect fit for a man. Exactly. A woman invites you is calm, relaxed, and easily accepting during the process. And there's nothing better. Now, you don't laugh when I use this reference. Juicy J had a song, right? From Juicy J from I forgot what group he's from. But he had a song called "Ain't No Coochie Like a Big Wet Coochie," because a tied right pussy ain't shit. That's what he said. Now, is that a simple explanation? Is he just because he's nasty, or is it something to that? Right? Something to it. If because like he said, ain't no coochie like a big wet coochie, because a tied right coochie ain't shit. Is it a nasty song? Yes, but there is something to that. Dorkley 609 says, I have black fatigue. I live in SoCal and there's black folks like you only. Then why are you here? How do I like my steaks? Medium rare. I love medium rare steak. Sugar Free Marsh says, if she's overly constricting, that's not a good sign. And I knew that immediately. Because again, some women have different feels than others. But if you're dealing with the same woman and like the first time it's very inviting, like you said, and then the second time it's like complete opposite, you know something's wrong. And then she had to tell me a couple days afterward. She had to tell me after, because like I told you, I stopped because I wasn't comfortable with what was going on. Medium rare is not still moving. Stop it. Medium rare is damn near cooked all the way through. Why y'all so scared of medium rare steaks? That is the best. Do you know that red meat is the least inflammatory food for the human? This is through all the receipts. They've done research on inflammatory foods, not just red meat. I heard that. I ain't mad at it, Sugar Free Mars. My wife likes it well done. She likes it well done. But she has been leaning a little bit more toward medium rare. But yes, I ain't mad at the well done. I ain't mad at it. But yes, medium rare steaks. That's how I like it. But red meat in general is one of the most. It is the least inflammatory food. They want you to be sick. They want you to be crap. J.R. Crandall, yeah, I'm gonna show y'all. Trust me, I'm gonna do some research into it. I'm gonna show y'all the real deal about red meat, ruminant animal meat, ruminant, not just beef, lamb, beef, even duck. Yes, red meat is. Don't be afraid of red meat, y'all. But I'll show you guys some stuff. Human nature, well done, can lose its flavor unless you do it right. So, like, say, if you take oxtail or like a tough meat, right, where the animal uses that muscle a lot, that is better well done. That's better like low and slow, right? Like oxtail, osso buco, chuck roast, any other type of roast, anything like that. Yeah, that's a brisket. You cook that nice and low and slow. You cook that fully well done, and it can be fall off the bone, tender and delicious. You not a fan of duck? I love duck. We just talking about all kind of stuff. Show you my dishwasher. Why? Human nature says raw chicken will out you though. Poultry has to be thoroughly. Yes, poultry has to be thoroughly cooked. Pork has to be thoroughly cooked unless it's there is a type. And my wife is making osso buco right now, low and slow in the crock pot. So low and slow in the crock pot, osso buco. You cook it like oxtail, nice and delicious. This is my teardrop bag, y'all. I'll be telling y'all I'll be doing some heavy bag work. Anyway, y'all, let me get out of here. Who's Stephen Bishop? I don't know who Stephen Bishop is. People always tell me I'm looking like some actor or another. I don't know who Stephen Bishop is. But yeah, cardio, heavy bag. So another form of cardio that I do before I get out of here, y'all, because this is what I came here to talk about. Salute RP is sprinting, wind sprints. I love sprinting. So that's another thing that I do to keep my cardio up. And so with sprinting, not only is it good for your cardio, it's good for your explosiveness. It's good for your explosiveness. It helps build your. It also helps with muscular endurance and explosiveness. And sprinting can help build endurance for long distance running, if you like to do that. So if you want to improve your long distance running without having to run so many times a week, you can do some sprints. That'll help you build your lung capacity for those nice long runs. Anyway, human nature. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. From being Mary Jane, because I'm light skinned and bald. All right, bro, get back on there. No, light skinned and bald. Come on. Anyway, thank you, Sugar Free Mars. Thank you, Sugar Free Mars. I don't see it either. I will say this, y'all. I mean, sprinting, very important. And sprinting will also help you discover where you're weak. Let's say your abductors are weak. You need to build your abductors. You need to build your stabilizer muscles. It'll let you know. So if you do some hard sprints and like you don't have enough ankle flexibility or foot flexibility, you will discover that if you sprint. So anyway, let me get out of here, guys. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for sharing if you shared. Much love. And JR Cornell says, I'm cutting out. Salute. Much love, like, share, subscribe. And we can just keep freedom. Peace, y'all.